My goodness, surely this deck will be one of the most popular decks from Bloomburrow. These cheeky little critters just keep on coming every single turn and they're extremely hard to play against. Hey everyone, Hex here, and I want to once again give a big thanks to Wizards for early access to Bloomburrow on Arena. This set is so cool. Firstly though, if you'd all be so kind as to drop a like on the video and subscribe below to not miss out on other brews from Bloomburrow and beyond. This set already looks amazing, but onto this deck, and it's the turn of the Mice of Bloomburrow to enter the fray today with all their valiant shenanigans. Let's start though with my favourite early play. We're going for a turn 1 Heartfire Hero. It's a 1-drop 1/1 with Valiant. So Valiant triggers when a creature becomes the target of a spell or ability for the first time. In this case, when Valiant is triggered on this creature, it gets a +1/+1 counter. Also, when it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. So you want to drop this and then hopefully follow up on turn 2 with my favourite mouse, and that is Manifold Mouse. It's a 2-drop 1/2 with Offspring 2, and at the beginning of combat, target mouse gets double strike or trample until end of turn. So you want to target your hero if you can to make it a 2/2 double striker on turn 2. This card is totally busted though whenever it is played. Other new mice include the Emberheart Challenger. It is a 2-drop 2/2 with haste and prowess and valiant. When this creature's Valiant is triggered, you exile the top card of your library to play until the end of turn. It is a great way just to keep the cards flowing. There is a Flowerfoot Swordmaste in the deck. It is another 1-drop, but this one's a 1/2 mouse with Offspring 2, and when Valiant is triggered, mice you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. And lastly, Mabel. Mabel's a mouse lord that gives all mice you control +1/+1, and when it enters you create Cragflame, which is a legendary colourless equipment artifact token that gives a creature +1/+1, vigilance, trample and haste. It equips for 2, and equipping equipment would trigger Valiant on any creature, so that is a nice bonus here. Older mice today include Cheeky House Mouse. It is a 2/1 vanilla mouse, but has an adventure sorcery called Squeak By. This gives target creature +1/+1 until end of turn, and can't be blocked by a creature at power 3 or greater this turn. So more Valiant enabling then. And last but definitely not least, we've got Raging Battle Mouse. This little critter discounts your second spell each turn by 1 generic mana, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, if 2 or more permanents have entered this turn, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Interaction wise, I've gone for Case of the Gateway Express as some removal, Might of the Meek, which is a 1-drop instant that gives +1/+0 until end of turn and draw a card if you control a mouse, and finally the game-winning Monstrous Rage. I've got 23 lands today, including Restless Bivouac and Rockface Village, which both target creatures, and that's the deck. Okay, so mice are ridiculously strong, and I can't wait to experiment more with this deck and find the perfect balance of spells and creatures. I did think about creatures like Inti or other equipment in the deck after I'd played a few games, and I'm very keen to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Also, what cards are you excited to try out from Bloomburrow? As always, I appreciate all the support you give this channel. Check out my Twitch for some future live streams, and my Patreon if you wish to support the channel further, as these folks have at the credit level. Link is in the description, but in the meantime, sit back, grab yourself a cup of tea, and see how the Mice of Bloomburrow got on today in the early access event on Arena. Alright then, on the draw with our mouse deck here, and I think this is a pretty good start for us. We have the hero into Manifold Mouse, so we'll do that. Opponent has a swamp. But yeah, fingers crossed we can attack here for 4 damage, because we can drop the mouse here. The Manifold Mouse, target our hero, gets +1/+1, and then give it double strike. So perfect start for us here. 4 damage, turn 2. We'll see what they want to play. I want to try and get this Bivouac down at some point. Warlock's going to make us discard a card. Well, let's get rid of the Bivouac. If we're up against a sort of black discard deck, Golgari mid-range, I want to just try and maximise as much damage as quick as possible. Let's just go for Mabel. This allows us to attack with both creatures. And I think we'll just go for the Manifold Mouse here, give it double strike. Spread the love a little bit. See if they want to block. They don't block, no. So we could have targeted the hero there, would have got a counter, but I was worried that they were just going to block it with the Warlock. Another Warlock comes down, and this time they get to choose the card that we have to discard to get rid of our Manifold Mouse. Here's Case of the Gateway Express, okay. So I'm pretty sure we've got lethal because we have the equipment here. So I think we'll just equip the equipment to the hero. This is going to give this creature trample. 5/5 with trample. Might as well play the House Mouse adventure side, which is squeak by. Target the hero again, give it double strike, and that's 12 damage on its own. And then sure, we'll just attack with the team. Hopefully that was the most efficient way we could have played that, but we did have a pretty decent hand up against a Golgari deck there, it seems. Alright then, on the play, with a reasonable hand, I wish it had a few more mice, but we'll start off with the Flowerfoot Swordmaste here. Nice little 1-drop. Has offspring, so it'd be nice to draw it later on as well. Opponent with a Seasoned Warren Guard. Suggests a sort of go wide token strategy here. Okay, so if that's going to be the case, we want to just try and get as many mice on the battlefield as possible. We have a couple of tricks, so I think what I want to do here is just go for the Raging Battle Mouse. And I guess there's no point attacking right now. So very slow start for our little mouse deck here. But hopefully we can keep up when the opponent starts popping down massive creatures. Valley Quest Caller is a Lord effect. 2/3 now in our way. And we finally draw another white source, which is pretty important. I want to use the Case of the Gateway Express to clear the 2/3, but we're going to need another creature onto the battlefield. So let's go for the cheeky House Mouse here, just as its creature side. We'll forget the Squeak By. We'll play this, then we'll drop Case of the Gateway Express, taking care of their Valley Quest Caller. That will reduce the power and toughness of the Warren Guard, and it should allow us to attack this turn for some damage. I guess we'll put the counter on the Battle Mouse itself to allow us to attack with both creatures. And they can just block our Swordmaster. It's fair enough. They go down to 17. Okay. So we have a couple of tricks in our hand. So hopefully we can squeeze through enough damage as quick as possible. Opponent with a Beauregard Mentor. Okay. It's going to increase its power and toughness based on how many creatures are on their side of the battlefield. But we're just going to attack with everyone. This is going to solve our Case of the Gateway Express. And this will also enable us to react to what they want to do. They just go for straight to damage. So I think... yeah, let's go for the Might of the Meek. This draws us a card. Okay, it's a mountain. Alright, Monstrous Rage as well on the Battle Mouse. And then we're just going through this to try and get as much damage done as possible. Opponent down to 5. Couldn't play the other Monstrous Rage because our land there is a Rockface Village, I think it's called, and it doesn't tap for red mana unless that red mana is being used to cast a creature. But they're on 5, and we have a Monstrous Rage in our hands, so I'm pretty happy with where we are. Case of the Gateway Express for our opponent. Going to take care of our Battle Mouse. Sure. Yeah, they just go to our turn. Well, Manifold Mouse should be enough for us to win the game, giving something double strike and enabling with Monstrous Rage, which has trample on it. It's going to be nice. We'll give our Swordmaster double strike now. Go to attacks, and then before blocks, we'll just Monstrous Rage it. And this should be enough for lethal, however they block. So we got there in the end. I do think Monstrous Rage is pretty nice in this deck. Got to remember that Rockface Village doesn't tap for red mana, but it also does target, so that is something to bear in mind if you want to sneak through another Valiant trigger. But yeah, opponent takes it, and we win that one. Alright then, on the play. Our hand is okay. It's a tiny bit slow, but turn 1 here we can drop our Restless Bivouac. I was unsure about putting this in the actual deck, as it's quite mana intensive, but late game it's a nice way to squeeze through some extra damage, but also it does target a creature, so it's a way to enable your Valiant triggers, and having it on turn 1 here is going to be a pretty nice card. What is our opponent up to right now? Well, we will see. We'll drop our Bivouac, say go. So not the ideal start for us. We'd love a 1-drop mouse, but what are you going to do? Opponent with a mountain and hired claw. Okay, that is a lizard. If we're up against lizards, I don't know how we're going to get on with this. definitely want to attack with our Challenger here as it has haste. Hired Claw is actually not a bad card. It enables all the strategies and synergies that the Lizard deck has. And I do want to kill this at some point, but right now, trying to squeeze through some damage is our main goal. And a Flame Cash Gecko, second main. We lost life because of the Hired Claw. They gain Rakdos mana here. 1 Swamp and 1 Mountain into Fireglass Mentor. Okay, opponents had probably the best start they can have in the Lizard deck. Turn 2, 3 creatures is very nice. Our Mouse deck requires a little bit of... well, we're going to require some more creatures onto the battlefield. I think what I want to do is just try and get as much down as possible. Let's go for Mabel. This puts the Challenger out of shock range and cut down range, so we'll get in there like that. And opponent down to 15. I mean, Mabel is... If they take care of Mabel, we might be in a bit of trouble here. Who knows? These kind of decks, I think, get better and better when you have more practice with the cards, and also... Obviously, the final version of a Mouse deck is probably not going to look anything like this, but we'll see how they do. I'm just going to block Hired Claw here, see if they've actually got something how they do. Okay, I thought they were trying to trick me there and just like suicide in their Hired Claw into me just to get some damage marked to me to enable their effects. Cut down they did have. Alright, well, they are down to 3 cards left. Let's just put a couple of mice onto the battlefield and say go. We'll go for Emberheart Challenger here. It's a haster. Manifold Mouse as well. And I'm not too scared right now. I'm going to give the Challenger double strike. That was a Battle Mouse, okay. And we can get in there. So yeah, opponent didn't really have any decent blocks. They would have lost both their creatures, but we've got them down to 14, and we do have a Monstrous Rage, which is pretty important, so we can maybe sneak through a victory using the Manifold Mouse, the Emberheart Challenger, and a Monstrous Rage. And we have Restless Bivouac down there. Getting in there with their Hired Claw, 1 damage to us. Enables most of their synergies. I'm not going to block this time, they can just pop a counter on the Claw using its own ability. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one, this one. But we do have a equipment. We have our land. We have Monstrous Rage. Vine Lasher for our opponent in a Lizard deck rather than a lands deck. It's good to see. I think the Vine Lasher is going to be extremely good going forward. And they get to look into my hand and take that Monstrous Rage. Okay, well that is a shame. That might actually seal the deal for us here. I'm not really sure how we're going to be able to keep up with our opponent's cards. But going to keep getting in there. You never know. The Lizard deck kind of does a lot of incremental damage, but nothing too spectacular. It's whether do we want to play the Bivouac here or attach our, or equip our... Probably the mouse, the Manifold Mouse. I guess we could have equipped the Challenger to... potentially drawn a card. But yeah, I do want to keep getting damage through. So let's give our Manifold Mouse double strike here. So this is now a 4/3 double strike. And give them the option if they want to block the Challenger. Okay, they've gone for the double block onto our... Hold up. They're going to lose both their creatures here. Okay, they were just chumping our Manifold Mouse. Fair enough, I'll take that, I'll take that. We did lose our creature there, the Challenger, but I'm pretty happy that the Manifold Mouse is still on the battlefield. Okay, they get in there with their Hired Claw again. I'm not blocking this time, they can just pop a counter on the Hired Claw. See if they want to do that. No, they don't. Fireglass Mentor triggers. I mean, this game is just literally all about attacking, so we are out of cards ourselves. They do have the Mentor, which is keeping their hand fueled. Vine Lasher back to the battlefield. They've offspringed it. Here comes Hired Claw. Lizard galore here. Pings us twice with Divine Lasher and, ooh, Monstrous Rage. You know, we might be able to sneak a win here right now. Obviously, they don't know what's in our hand. We have just drawn that. It's pretty lucky. Let's go for the Restless Bivouac attack. We'll target probably the Trampler with the double strike. I think that's the important thing here. And then we can Monstrous Rage this as well. But I'm interested to see how they block first. Okay, they've gone for the double block on the Bivouac. And they did not block the Manifold Mouse. Right. Sure. I've got no idea if this is lethal. That's 10 damage just with this mouse. The other 3/3 takes them down to 1. We do have a double striking, trampling 3/4. And they have 4 toughness, 4, 5, 6 toughness on board. They're on 1 life. They just get in there with everybody. I guess I'm going to have to do something here to stop me from dying. 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, let's just block this Mentor. We go down to 2. What has opponent got to finish us off? Do they have... It's just another Vine Lasher, and I can't believe it, but I think we've just snuck that victory out of nothing. Yeah, I mean, Monstrous Rage once again, and this Manifold Mouse is absolutely busted. And yeah, opponent wins. I'm not sure if we should have won that game, but I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, then, on the play. And yeah, I mean, 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop. I can't complain with this hand too much at all. Yeah, it's a definite keeper. We'll go for the Vantage into Heartfire Hero. Pretty nice card on turn 1. Manifold Mouse is the turn 2 play you want to play if possible, but we'll go for the Challenger here and tap the opponent for 3. Get him down to 17. Mabel next turn. Valley Rotcaller, okay, is a 1/3 as we find a Flowerfoot Swordmaste, which we could Offspring if we wanted to. I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go for the Offspring only because I feel like the opponent might have a removal spell. And no attacks. I guess we could have attacked with the Emberheart Challenger and then played the Swordmaste second main to squeeze through another damage. I don't think they would have blocked. It's Honoured Dray Leader for our opponent. So it looks like we're up against Squirrels. With advantage. Alright, well, let's just drop that and play Mabel. Everything gets +1/+1, as Mabel is a Lord. And we have an attack with a 3/3 and a 2/3 here. So yeah, this is okay for us. Bring it down to 12. If they want to take care of my Mabel, we have another one, and then we can also equip the equipment that we already have on the battlefield. What is that? Bushy Bodyguard, okay. I mean, they are very much going all in on the Squirrels here. They do have a 4/4, which is annoying for us to get through. Oh, please attack, opponent. They do not. Okay, another Swordmaste. Right, okay, well, Heartfire Hero is nice. That's probably a guaranteed 2 damage. So we've got them down to 10, really. I think what we need... Oh, hello. Case of the Gateway Express there. I'm definitely going to want to play that. Take out the 4/4, and we're just going to smash here. This is also going to solve our case. I mean, this has been pretty impressive by our deck. Just name Mouse. Get in there. And we do have a 5/5 Trampler. Opponent decides enough's enough, and they just take it. Yeah, Mice over Squirrels there. Alright then, on the draw, and our hand is... It's pretty bad land-wise here. Creature-wise, not too bad. I think this is a mulligan. I think we'll be playing... We'll be too slow. We'll be looking for a white mana. Okay, well, this is much better. 3 white mana for Mice. The question is, what do we want to get rid of? I'm probably going to get rid of a land here. I don't like getting rid of lands on the mulligan, but I think we'll do it. We still have our hero here into maybe the Challenger. With a Shivering Reef and Storm Chaser's Talent. Okay, we're up against Otters. I love to see it. I've been playing Otters today a lot, but I'm just not too happy with my Otter deck. So I'm looking forward to the first couple of weeks when the set hits Arena, so that I can really look at a decent Otter deck. Because as you know me, I love my Otters. I just need to understand the creature to spell ratio. I was finding I was being able to do a large chunk of damage, and then I was just left with a load of 1/1s without any really good ways to refuel my hands. And then, yeah, we'll just get run over after that. Opponent gets in there with their 1/1. Well, I'm not gonna block that. And it's Stormcatch Mentor. Okay, a 1/1. It reduces the cost of instants and sorcery, so it's a decent card. Let's go for our Manifold Mouse here that we drew. Target our hero, gets a +1 counter, and then we're going to give it, it's Double Strike. I mean, they could chump, but are they going to want to chump with that Mentor? It doesn't look like it. They go down to 14. Alright, so we're on a decent start here, but opponent now has some prowess creatures, open mana, Teamer open mana as well. Alright, what are you going to do, opponent? Otterball Antics makes a 1/1 with prowess. Obviously, it ups the apparent toughness to end a turn for the other two creatures, and they jam. Okay, well, I ain't going to block. Could we die right now? Who knows? They're certainly hovering over my cards to see what they want to do. Okay, well, they've been having a good think on this turn, and they've gone for a shock on the Manifold Mouse. I mean, having a shock in their hand is important there, as it clears that. They're still looking at my hero. Do they have another shock? Oh, they have Lightning Strike. Okay, discounted because of the Mentor, sure. Alright, well, we get to do them for 2. We take 8 down to 11, so 11 all, but they've got 1 card in hand. They have an Otterball Antics in their grave. We can double spell here with our Raging Battle Mouse, and I think I'll go for the Challenger. So we can start finding cards to play, and yeah, we'll just target the Challenger here. It's another Challenger off the top. We'd love a land there, but we'll get in there for 3 damage. Going down to 8. Alright, I mean, I think this is pretty even. It all really does depend on what they've got. They've got this Storm Chaser's talent to find an instant, or to get an instant sorcery from their graveyard to their hand. It costs 4 mana though. They do have a Lightning Strike in there, so I guess technically we're on about 7 life. But hopefully they've just got some lands in their hand. Alright, opponent has been thinking again for a long time of this turn. I guess there's a lot of things to consider. It's Otterball Antics. Alright, so that's 3 2/2s on the battlefield, and they get in there. Now the point is, do we chump? Or do we just block with our 2/1? They've got 1 unknown card. Now, let's just go down to 4 and see if we can win it this way. Plains is nice. Alright, well, we'll go for the Raging Battle Mouse here. Into a Mabel. Okay, having to take a damage there is annoying. Wonder if we could have done that without taking a damage. Raging Battle Mouse is going to trigger, and let's pop it on the other Raging Battle Mouse. Find a land, alright. I mean, we have... This is a lethal attack. They're going to have to chump with their 2/2. If anyone out there has any really good Otter decks that they're really looking forward to playing, I really want to see it. I want to see some big spells, some big game-changing spells. I've got a couple of ideas, but I don't think I'm going to have time today to make the video. It'll definitely be next week. Opponent is blocking with their 2/2, our Challenger. Get the opponent down to 4. I mean, they've got 3 1/1s with prowess. They can return a Lightning Strike to their hand using the Storm Chaser's talent that they can play next turn. If they draw a land now, they can play it this turn because of the Mentor's ability. So this is dicey, but they're also in a dicey situation, especially as our equipment here gives trample. I really hope that that pinging of the Battlefield Forge doesn't come back and bite us, because I think we might have been able to play those 2 cards without taking damage, not relying on the auto tapper there. Alright, opponent, they are having another look at our cards. Obviously, these are all very new cards, and if they do have a removal spell, they're trying to understand exactly what card to remove. But if they've got like a shock or something, just taking care of my Battle Mouse here is GG's. Another Storm Chaser's talent makes another 1/1. Alright, I mean, they can take us to 1. Please attack opponent. That is if they don't have a card left in their hand. I wonder what they want to do here. Okay, it is a Kitzer Otterball Elite. They take a damage to play that. They go down to 3. We fire a Heartfire Hero. Alright, well this is slightly annoying that the hero is coming down now, because that would be some almost guaranteed damage when that dies. We have no way to actually kill our own hero. Maybe we can squeeze through a win here. Let's just attack with everyone. We have to attack, otherwise we're not going to win this game. Now, they have 2 Storm Chaser talents to find themselves a spell, so we don't want them to draw an untapped land. This is a pretty decent attack for us because each of our creatures is lethal, so they are going to have to block everything. Kitzer's going to die because they need to block the trample damage off of our Challenger. Opponent down to 2. Alright, I mean, this is a top deck for them. We've got lethal next turn. They have lethal if they have a land or a spell. They find a land. Do they see the play with a Storm Chaser's talent? Please don't remember that you can play the Lightning Strike. They do, and they hit us for that extra damage. You know, that damage we took from the Forge has come back and beaten us, but that was a really good game against Otters. I was pretty pleased, and don't mind dying too much there. Alright then, on the play. I mean, I'm not going to complain about this hand too much. It's pretty aggressive. In fact, we have 3 1-drops that we can play. Normally I'd go for the Heartfire Hero. But the Swordmaster is a kind of interesting card that I haven't really played with a lot today. So let's just go for the Swordmaster. Now, you could just wait for this for the next few turns. You play it turn 3, get 2 creatures down. But just trying it to see what we can do here. It is Storm Chaser's talent for our opponent. Okay, Otter deck, fair enough. Cavern of Souls for us. Clearly perfect for a mouse deck like this one. So when this creature becomes a target of a spell ability, gets +1/+0 until end of turn. We can attack with the Swordmaster. They can't block. Let's go for the hero here. And I guess we can just cheeky house mouse squeak by on our Swordmaster and attack for 3. They decide to chump, fair enough. Honestly, I didn't think they were going to chump that. Okay, tap land. And no spell. Okay, this gives us an opportunity here to double spell. We can battle mouse. Okay, they've got something it looks like in their hand. Okay, I'm not sure what 1-mana blue spells they could be playing here, but we'll play the Challenger here, and then we get some triggers. So the Battle Mouse triggers. We'll pop the counter onto our Swordmaster, or we'll target our Swordmaster with the Raging Battle Mouse. Into the Floodmoor, bounces our Swordmaster. Whatever. So they did have a spell, but Valley Flamecaller for our opponent. It's a 3/3 as we draw our Monstrous Rage, which I'm pretty happy about. We can offspring this, can't we? Get a couple of creatures into the battlefield. What does this do? It just returns a creature. Okay. All new cards here. Let's go for the offspring on the Swordmaster. And I want a double spell, so we'll go for the cheeky house mouse. +1/+1 to end of turn. Let's go for the... So we want to attack through this Flamecaller if possible. So we'll go for our hero, and then we can attack with this, and if they block, at least we still get 3 damage through. They do not block. They'd go down to 12. I'm pretty happy that Monstrous Rage might see us out next turn. They do have 4 mana open. Please, no board wipe. What is that? Consecration Mage. Alright. 2/2 and a 1/1. So we find Case of the Gateway Express. And surely this is GG's. Just double checking, see that there's any effects that I need to worry about. We get Prowess here on our Challenger as well. All smash down the 3/3. And which card am I going to target with the Monstrous Rage here? who knows? Let's just let them go to blocks first and see if we can not just win the game. Okay, they've gone to block my Challenger and my cheeky House Mouse. Or not. They're still blocking the cheeky House Mouse with their 1/1. Okay, and the Mage blocked my Swordmaster. No. Mage is now blocking the Raging Battle Mouse. Well, let's just go after the Swordmaster. I think this is lethal. More than lethal. That's what the Mice is there to do. Excellent game there.